Every aspect that sought balance is now finding its rightful place. The appointed moment has arrived. Perhaps you have sensed an unease within you lately, my beloved, an unseen draw you could not name. That was not a phantom thought. This profound push you feel in your spirit is not unease, my child. It is the stirring of awakening. The pause has ended. The period of readying is complete. Now begins the time for true engagement, for revelation, for your full emergence. This is beyond a mere phase, my beloved. This is a profound turning point. I am quickening the flow of moments for the sake of those I have chosen. What once required long stretches of time will now manifest in mere instants. Passages will become evident. Journeys will find clarity. Bonds will form effortlessly. For the destined moment for my chosen ones is not drawing near. It is fully present. Pay deep, my child. This is not a practice run. I have uttered a knowing truth not to instill dread, but to stir your inner conviction. If you have sensed a profound transformation about to unfold, you perceive correctly. A momentous change draws near before this day runs its course. You must be ready in spirit. Those who remain unaware will overlook it. They will witness the world's turbulent movements and dismiss them as chance. But you, my awakened one, will perceive it to your very core. This message is not meant to cause fright. It is a remembrance that your period of readying has concluded, and now your true calling commences. With it comes a pouring forth of my divine favor. Foretelling is not always gentle, my beloved. Sometimes it challenges the deceptions, the inertia, the untruths that kept you veiled. This is my essence stirring the foundations of existence to uncover those who truly heeded my voice. A profound otherworldly occurrence is set to unfold before the close of this day, not by human hands, but by my own decree. It will not be explained by earthly reason, yet it will be sensed across the world, both universally and in spirit. It may appear as disorder, a disturbance, but for those I have chosen, it will bring clear understanding. Anticipate what is uncommon. Foresee imbalances in human tools, unfamiliar movements within the natural order, sudden understandings. These are not without reason. These are the reverberations of my divine voice, proclaiming the opening of a sacred boundary. I am now opening passages that have been closed for countless ages. Pathways of grace, of insight, of true calling are being unsealed. You will sense it first within your deepest being before your physical eyes can perceive it. Do not seek validation from human reports. Listen instead to the affirmation within your own spirit. If you have ever pleaded for a clear indication, my child, this is it. This is the deep spiritual tremor that resets life paths and calls those I have chosen forth from obscurity. The indications are already present, my beloved, though obscured from those whose inner vision is not yet awake. The world around you may label them as fleeting malfunctions, missteps, or earthly commotions, but you will recognize them as guiding truths. Your inner being will discern what the outer senses cannot look more profoundly. Established arrangements are moving. The current of moments feels accelerated. People perceive an imbalance, but cannot articulate its source. This is the clear mark of my hand at work. I am stirring the very air of existence to ready those who belong to me for their true ascent. These indications are not proclamations of an ending. My child, they are calls to a deeper knowing. You are not adrift for feeling apart from the usual current. You are being attuned to a more subtle resonance. These are not random occurrences. These are echoes from the realm of spirit reaching into the material world. As my higher domain settles into perfect order, your earthly plane will sense it both in its natural rhythms and its intricate systems. The constructs of humankind cannot remain untouched. When I begin my grand design, you may encounter unusual reports, structures faltering. Do not fear, my child. These are the profound stirrings as my realm brings balance to your world. This is how I make my declarations known, my child, when my precious ones have held their peace for a long while. Look to the expanse above you. Discern the turning of currents. Remain watchful. My divine dwelling no longer holds its peace. The unseen world hums with vigorous life, purposeful energy, my own perfect arrangement. My messengers are sent forth. Gateways between realms are now parting once more. For long periods, my child, you may have perceived your heartfelt pleas returning to you unheard. That quietude was never dismissal. It was a period of careful making. My realm was crafting and arranging beyond your sight. And now the grand design is beginning to show itself. This is no chance happening, my beloved. It is precisely purposed by me. My dwelling place is in motion. And you, my precious one, are in unison with its unfolding. You were never solitary. You were undergoing preparation. The times of being set apart were not chastisement. They were a refining period. I drew you away from clamor, so your inner ear could discern my whisper. Now the linking anew commences. Those extended periods of darkness, the pleas that seemed to echo back the poignant partings. They were shaping you, my child, for a purpose far grander than mere ease, a sacred purpose. And what you perceived as diminishment will now be unveiled as a foundation for splendor. As the unseen bonds reform, you will clearly perceive those meant to walk your destined path, and those who served only to aid your growth. Your inner knowing is awakening. The feeling of being apart dissolves. The sacred communion unfolds. Let me speak plainly, my precious one. This is not the final unraveling of existence. It is not a sudden departure from the earth. Instead, it is a setting apart in spirit, an elevation, a clear mark of difference. My beloved ones are being raised higher, not withdrawn from their place. You will continue to move among humanity, to labor, to express, to simply be. This is not an evasion. It is an infusion of strength. The transformation will be so clear that others will query what is altered within you. Yet only you will comprehend its depth. You are not being removed from your path. You are being lifted higher in it. It is time, my child, to step forth with confidence in the strength I have gifted you. This raising up begins within your spirit, then extends to your outer life. Allow yourself to ascend in every way. My realm is stirring to bring forward those whom the world has dismissed, undervalued, and cast from its remembrance. For long stretches, you offered your deepest self in solitude. You gave when no eyes observed. You yielded when no voice offered praise. Now my dwelling place recalls all. I have not overlooked your quiet devotion, my child. And now I am preparing to acknowledge you openly. This unfolding will not emerge through the accustomed ways you recognize, not by human schemes or widespread acclaim or outward display. It will come solely through my own hand, drawing forth my chosen ones from obscurity into their true calling. Anticipate swift acknowledgement, unforeseen blessings, a quickening of my divine timing. I am reordering paths in a single breath. You will move from patiently awaiting your turn to being beckoned forward without need for a reason. Why, my beloved? Because your trust was unwavering even when no visible gain appeared. Because you persevered through trials. I am turning my illumination toward you. You are being lifted. I select the gentle of spirit over the arrogant, the sincere over the widely admired, the loyal over the ostentatious. If you ever questioned if your sorrow was noted, if your devotion was observed, this, my child, is your affirmation. The grace approaching you is not by chance. It is a deserved recompense. My gaze rested upon you throughout every moment. Now the blessing arrives with undeniable power. The unseen world does not merely pertain to emotions, my child. It also holds vast stores of provision. In this coming unfolding of my will, abundance, strength, and sacred command are being set free, not for mere indulgence, but for profound influence. This is not flourishing for display. It is sustenance for a higher aim. I am entrusting sacred blessings into the care of those who will manage them with the integrity of my divine principles. If you have passed through a period of scarcity, barely sustaining yourself, prepare yourself, my beloved, for the abundant flow of resources is commencing. Not through deceitful schemes, not through selfish desire, but through my sacred arrangements and inspired ways. Fresh insights will fill your inner being. Unexpected chances will present themselves before you. Why, my precious one? Because I am resourcing those I have set apart. I am placing what is needed into the hands of those who will expand it for the benefit of all. Where others yielded to apprehension, you will ascend in trust. This is not the time to allow your spirit to wander or to slumber in its awareness. It is time to attune your inner being, to hone your perception, and to remain watchful. For my summons may arrive without warning, and you will not have moments to ready yourself once it begins. Your readiness must be cultivated in this present instant. This is the open passage for your sacred awakening. I tell you, keep your inner flame robust. Meaning, tend to your heart, tend to your existence, tend to your inner self, keeping it prepared. Remain in communion with me. Live in purity. Decline to be ensnared by transgression or by passive ease. You cannot afford to miss my sign due to slumber. What is unfolding is too vast, too sacred, and it is already proceeding. Preparedness is not rooted in dread, my beloved. It is born of harmony. It is about existing in such a way that when I speak forth your name, you can affirm without a moment's pause. Maintain the purity of your inner being. Maintain clarity of thought. Maintain an active spirit. My sacred summons does not arrive with prior notice. It comes as a gentle suggestion, a fleeting instant, a gateway presenting itself, and you must be poised to enter. Uncertainty has occupied its span. Hesitation has voiced its concerns. The obscurity is receding. My beloved ones begin to perceive their authentic essence. Where indecisiveness once resided, now flows sacred wisdom. Where postponement held sway, now arrives clear understanding and decisive movement. This is your ascension. This awakening is not for the boastful, my child, but for the one whose spirit has stirred. You will begin to see the purpose behind departures, the closing of certain pathways, and why previous directions seemed unclear to you, my beloved. Hesitation will give way to certainty. You will no longer question, but truly discern. The days of frantic pursuit are ending. Instead, a gentle hand will lead your steps. This is not merely human insight. This is the profound knowing of the heavens. A direct transmission of sacred understanding. As this deep knowing settles within you, meaningful bonds will naturally form. Individuals vital to your journey will enter your experience, my child, forming sacred bonds. They carry insights that unlock your next unfolding. You will no longer need to sustain connections that deplete your essence, nor remain in places that diminish your spirit. And as these kindred spirits converge, my child, you will ascend in union swifter than you ever could have soared alone. A moment of profound spiritual transformation now stands before you, my beloved, before the passage of this current cycle completes. A monumental reordering will occur, so potent that your inner sense of timing will feel dramatically advanced. All that you believed required lengthy periods, your sacred commitments, your aspirations, your very reason for being will now begin to manifest with remarkable swiftness. You may have experienced long stretches of patient anticipation, of quiet readiness, perhaps even times that felt like complete stillness. Yet now the unfolding from the higher realms moves with rapid purpose. What appeared as postponement was in truth an intricate shaping. You were being strengthened for this precise instant, when this intensified forward movement would require profound grounding and unwavering resolve. Understand this, my precious one. When this great reordering commences, you must not falter. You are called to move with profound accord. Respond to the whispers of your spirit. Embrace the sacred directives. Swift movement and trusting relinquishment must intertwine. Before this current cycle concludes, those barriers that seemed impenetrable will open wide for you. The sacred current will overcome all that hindered your progress. And you, my beloved, will advance with speed, with courage, with an essence beyond the ordinary. The era of self-doubt is complete. The moments of concealment, of diminishing your true self, of seeking approval from others are now behind you. This is the very genesis of your spiritual journey forward. You may perceive yourself as unprepared. By earthly measures, you might appear lacking, and you have given your assent despite the sorrow you have known, the apprehension you have carried, the uncertainties that have touched you. That profound assent is now poised for its fulfillment. My child, this is the moment to move with inner might, to voice your truth with clear conviction, to embrace affection without reservation, to create without yielding your spirit. This is your designated interval, your sacred calling, your singular purpose. Do not withdraw. Do not pause in uncertainty. Embrace the vastness of your rising. There are epochs in the unfolding of existence when the celestial storehouses are unveiled, not simply to bestow, but to make whole again. This, my child, is such an occasion. All that has been held in reserve for you. Abundant grace, open pathways, divine regard, righteous vindication is now being revealed in its perfect sacred sequence. The celestial storehouse is not barren, my precious one. It is abundant beyond measure. And the preordained moment of its revelation is at hand for those who stand in truth. And now, my child, the access has been granted. The sacred storehouse stands revealed. What approaches you is not by chance. It is a precise recompense for a life lived with unwavering integrity. This extends beyond mere earthly sustenance. It speaks of a sacred rectification of the higher realms honoring those who walked with sincerity even as the temporal world pursued its own acclaim. These celestial reserves contain restoration for your physical form, tranquility for your thoughts, renewal for your innermost being, and ample support for your life's true work. You are not entering a period of scarcity, my child. Let this be your clear indication. You need not plead for that which has already been appointed for you. The seeming postponement was not a refusal. It was a precise ordering. And now that the moment is perfectly ordained, my beloved, the celestial storehouses are revealing their treasures. Ready your inner core. Ready your essence. For what is about to be unveiled carries your indelible mark. What you offered in privacy, your heartfelt petitions, your periods of deep focus, your acts of devotion, none of it was without meaning. While others pursued public acclaim, you sought a harmonious connection to the sacred. And now the cycle is turning. My child, you did not yield when yielding would have been simpler, even when it meant a parting with companions, a depletion of resources, a loss of chances. And your response, my precious one, will be clear, profound accord. This is not for self-admiration or display. That sincerity holds enduring value. That steadfastness will be acknowledged. The elevation approaching is not solely a gift for you. It is a profound declaration to all. Profound accord opens pathways no human hand can seal. Be ready, my beloved, when radiant attention turns your way. Do not draw focus to yourself. You are being esteemed, my child, not for outward acts, but for your inner disposition, a disposition of relinquishment and steadfast reliance. For too long, earthly abundance has gathered in the hands of those who stray from true light, employed for self-serving aims and constraining structures. Yet the reordering has commenced, not merely material provisions, my beloved, but vital capacities, far-reaching impact, and avenues of expression. This sacred reallocation is not born of avarice, my precious one. This unfolding is for the grand purpose of expanding my light in the world. Those I have set apart are receiving abundance, not for fleeting pleasure, but for lasting impact. This flow of provision is upon you now. It flows from my very essence. Pathways you never sought will open, leading to an abundance of resources. Established ways will yield. Why, my child? Because I no longer choose to see my beloved ones yearning, while those who forget their spirit flourish in earthly ways. Do not be astonished when provision arrives, when supporters emerge, when opportunities for growth become available. This is not chance, my beloved. This is the unfolding of my sacred design. The time of being unseen is concluding, my child. My presence is declaring a visible upliftment for those who remain true in quiet dedication. Esteem is not bestowed upon those who clamor most. It is granted to the heart that seeks only truth. Those who never pursued accolades are about to step into widespread awareness, not for self-glory, but for profound impact. You have been underestimated, disregarded, ridiculed, overlooked. But those very ones who failed to see your worth will witness me elevating you for all to behold. This is not merely an ascent in worldly recognition, my precious one. It is an ascent in spiritual wisdom and profound cultural resonance. Your voice will be heard in spaces you could not once access. Your essence will hold significance where it was once unremembered. Esteem is coming to your essence, not because of what you merely do, but because of your steadfastness. Not because of outward show, but because you bear within you that which no earthly coin can acquire. A sacred blessing, an unwavering integrity, a wisdom that flows from my heart. As you ascend, remain anchored, my child. This upliftment is not a prize for flawlessness. It is an acknowledgement of your true calling. Favor is not coincidence, my child. It is my own affirmation. And in this moment, I am surrounding my set-art ones with a protective grace that will bewilder the ordinary understanding. This grace will not be comprehended by others. It will seem unbalanced. It will challenge reason. Yet, it will be impossible to deny. Where others face denial, you will be brought in. Where others are obstructed, you will be embraced. This is my grace in action, my child. A powerful presence that envelopes you, guards you, and propels you far beyond what human exertion could achieve. This grace will make good for every moment you were unseen. It will reveal passages you could not even perceive. It will bring your essence before those who hold sway, even if they have never encountered you. You no longer need to strive for notice. You no longer need to plead for acknowledgement. My grace will accomplish what striving could never achieve. It will find you, lift you, and uphold you. Not for a fleeting interval, but for the entirety of your sacred purpose. My favor is your new protection, my precious one.
My child, this moment holds a profound understanding, one that will transform the very fabric of your existence. All that lingered in anticipation now moves into manifestation. Understand deeply, my child. This transformation is far from common. The time for stillness has passed. Open your whole being to this truth. Welcome the deep change stirring within your soul's core. For once this passage is crossed, there is no return. Your life will expand into the true existence I always intended for you, but only if your heart is wide open to embrace it completely. Listen closely, my precious one, for these are the very words I desired you to hear. This communication was never intended to be common. Indeed, it was never destined to find you through customary paths. A hollowed truth thrice obstructed by energies that sought to silence it. Yet it could not remain concealed. Such potency, such vital urgency insisted on being known. And now, defying every obstacle, it has found its way to you. This is not mere chance, my beloved. This is your foretold path. You exist in a time of spirit, my child, where the delicate separation between realms is thinning. Adversarial forces have striven ceaselessly to obscure this unfolding. But no power, no matter how dark and quiet what I have set in motion, the disruptions, the hindrances, the pauses, all were indications that this message bears a profound otherworldly significance. Those I have selected were always meant to listen, and the moment for this revelation was set by me. This is not a tale to entertain, my precious one. This is not fleeting excitement. This is a definitive spiritual calling for those whose inner being has recently sensed a profound stirring. I have been patient, my child. I have observed. I have lingered, readying those I hold dear. But now I can delay no longer. My voice resounds across existence with unparalleled clarity. This is a sacred urgency, and the life force of spirit accelerates its flow.